There's a sound you know, not by name perhaps, but in your bones. It isn't a shriek that tears through the silence or a roar that announces its arrival. It doesn't even bother to run, it just walks. A simple, almost childlike piano line that has become this permanent fixture in our collective dread. But what if I told you that the skeletal melody was a masterclass in psychological manipulation, a sound designed specifically to make you feel like prey? This isn't just about a scary theme from a scary movie, this is about a piece of music that fundamentally rewired the relationship between sound and fear in cinema. A theme that did more than just accompany the film in a very real way, it saved the film. When John Carpenter first showed a rough cut of Halloween to a studio executive, a version completely stripped back of music, her feedback was brutal. It just wasn't scary. Determined to save it with the music, Carpenter, who was a filmmaker who was also a musician, designed to score the entire film himself. It was a decision born from a shoestring budget, but it resulted in a stroke of accidental genius that would define the sound of horror for generations. So how did this simple melody become the sonic embodiment of dread? The answer lies in a brilliant deconstruction of what makes us feel safe and a deliberate reconstruction of that feeling into pure terror. Now, to understand the theme's power, we have to strip it back to its bare components. And it all begins with a rhythm that is just fundamentally off. Most of the music that fills our lives, from pop to rock to classical, operates in a time signature your brain finds comfortable, predictable, like 4/4. It's even, it's stable. Carpenter throws that comfort right out the window. And the main theme of Halloween is built on an unconventional 5/4 time signature. It's asymmetrical, it lurches, it has this limping, stumbling quality that never resolves into a pattern your brain can relax into. Your brain is a pattern-seeking machine, and when it's denied a stable pattern, it defaults into a state of low-grade anxiety. That constant, subtle feeling that the world is off balance is the first layer of the trap. Carpenter isn't just playing notes, he's exploiting your innate need for order and deliberately denying you of it. He's hacked your lizard brain, but here's the twist. A kind of sonic gaslighting. While the rhythm is engineered to be unsettling, the melody itself is almost insultingly simple. A repeating 10-note piano line that sounds like a nursery rhyme. And this is where the psychological warfare deepens. Nursery rhymes are meant to be safe, but by setting this off-kilter, unnerving rhythm to a melody that feels innocent, Carpenter creates profound cognitive dissonance. It's the musical equivalent of finding something monstrous in your childhood bedroom. It weaponizes the familiar, turning safety itself into a source of dread. Beyond the rhythm, there's the instrumentation. Halloween was a low-budget indie film, and there was no money for a full orchestra here. This limitation forced Carpenter to turn to a then novel technology, the synthesizer. This wasn't just a cost-saving measure, it was the decision that would give the film's monster its soul, or more accurately, its lack of one. Now, most traditional horror scores of the era, like Bernard Herrmann's work on Psycho, relied on the orchestra for its organic, emotional power. Strings can be elegant, or they can mimic a human scream, but a synthesizer is different. Its sound is cold, electronic, inherently artificial, it's mechanical, and in that mechanical quality, Carpenter found the perfect voice for Michael Myers. Michael isn't a villain with motives, he is the shape, a silent, relentless, unfeeling force. A full orchestra might have given him dramatic grandeur, but the synthesizer strips him bare. The minimalist, synth-driven score doesn't just accompany the killer, it very much is the killer. It mirrors his character perfectly. It's cold, it's unfeeling, and it's inhuman. The sounds are stark and hollow, creating an atmosphere of dread. that a traditional score never could. This wasn't the sound of passion or rage, it was the sound of a machine programmed to kill. Now let's talk about the notes themselves. Even if you don't know any music theory, your nervous system understands the basic language of harmony and dissonance. Harmony feels stable, dissonance feels tense, unresolved. It's the sound of notes clashing, a sonic trigger for anxiety. And the Halloween theme is a masterclass in using dissonance to create and generate fear. The melody is built around musical intervals that are unnaturally unsettling, most famously the tritone, an interval so jarring it was historically nicknamed Diabolus in Musica or the Devil in Music. But Carpenter doesn't just present these dissonant ideas once, he uses repetition until it becomes ritualistic. The theme loops over and over, drilling itself into your psyche and creating the sense of a relentless, unstoppable force. After a while, it stops sounding like music and starts feeling like a state of existence. And just when your brain gets used to that unnerving pattern, he pulls the rug out. He'll suddenly shift the entire melody, breaking the fragile stability you just found. It's a kind of harmonic jump scare. He also weaponizes sustained notes or pedal tones that hang in the air, unresolved, stretching your anxiety to its breaking point. But sometimes his most devastating tool is silence. Carpenter often cuts the music entirely right before Michael strikes, and that sudden vacuum of sound is profoundly unsettling, leaving you alone with nothing but your own pounding heart before the theme crashes back in. So, how do all these pieces, the broken rhythm, the cold synths, the dissonant notes, reconstruct themselves inside the film to create that pure, uncut feeling of being stalked? Well, the genius isn't how these elements are woven into the visual language of the movie. Think of the early scene where Laurie Strode first sees the car cruising by. As she notices it, the theme begins. The pulsing 5/4 rhythm isn't just background music, it's a sonic extension of Michael's presence. The music is the stalking. When he stops, the music surges. When he drives away, it fades. The score becomes a direct signal of the threat, teaching you to associate that limping piano with the killer's gaze. It creates an unbearable dramatic irony. We, the audience, can hear the predator, even when the characters cannot. John Carpenter's mastery also lies in what he withholds. Unlike modern horror's wall-to-wall sound, he uses his theme sparingly. It appears, establishes dread, and then vanishes, leaving you in a quiet state of panic. You start listening for the theme, and its absence becomes just as terrifying as its presence. The relentless 5/4 rhythm is the sound of Michael's footsteps. The cold synth tones are the vacant reflection in his black eyes. The dissonant piano melody is the knot forming in your stomach as he gets closer. Every musical choice is tethered to the action, making you feel as if you are the one being hunted. Now, the legacy of John Carpenter's score is a monumental testament to minimalism. It didn't just save his film, it taught a generation of filmmakers that atmosphere could be built from just a few perfectly chosen notes. So, what other film scores get under your skin in that same inescapable way? Let me know in the comments, but for now, let's round up this video. In the end, the sound that makes you feel stalked is a perfect storm of musical ingenuity and psychological warfare. It's a theme that proves you don't need a massive orchestra or a complex composition to create real terror. All you need is an idea to take a simple rhythm and make it feel broken. An idea to choose an instrument that sounds as soulless as your villain. And an idea to weaponize a childlike melody until it feels monstrous. With the Halloween theme, John Carpenter composed a sound that didn't just let you see the horror on screen. It injects it directly into your nervous system. It's a timeless piece of musical dread that, decades later, still has the power to make you look over your shoulder, just to be sure you're alone.